Next up, we're going to learn how to place a Photoshop image using the Show Import Options dialog so that we can take advantage of the layers in Photoshop and have them brought into Illustrator. So we're going to do another File, Place, and we're going to go into the Lesson 15 image folder again. And don't get ahead of me, we're just going to single click on Photo Frame PSD, and then we need to look at these options again. So if you don't see them, click on the Options button. And we are not going to link it, so we're going to uncheck that. This is going to actually embed it in Illustrator, and because we're also going to do something else, we're going to get to embed all the layers. So the next thing that we must do is turn on the Show Import Options button. Then we're going to click Place, and we're going to see those options. And here they are. So you have some options to look through here. The layer comp, we're going to click on the down arrow, and remember layer comps, we did those quite a while ago, where if we turned on some effects and rearranged some things, we would take kind of a snapshot and call that a layer comp. That's how it looked with a bunch of different settings. I think we did it in the, long ago we did selections on the yellow buttercups. We did layer comps so that we could easily see the differences. So this file comes with two different comps, one called mountain and one called beach. We're going to take beach. Show preview, we're going to turn on and have that selected. And then convert layers to objects. So that's important. All the Photoshop layers, we want to come in as individual objects in Illustrator. We don't want to flatten it. We're going to leave that. And then import hidden layers. This is up to you. So if you don't know what the file contains and you don't know if you may need some of those hidden layers, the ones that are turned off, you can turn it on. If you know that the layers that are turned off in the Photoshop file are of no need to you, no need to bring them in, you can leave that unchecked. So we're going to turn it on and then say OK. And the file is not readable. Really? That's a new one. Let's try that again. File, place. I didn't expect that to happen quite clearly. Photo frame, PSD. There's kind of our preview. Just double checking all of this. Deselect and select. Layer comp, beach. Interesting that we don't see anything in the preview here. But when we do this one, we see it. Well, I'll try it one more time, and we get the same thing. All right, this is interesting. Let me see. File, place. Every now and then you do have problems, and I am using Illustrator 2021. I don't know if that's the issue. I'm going to try importing the last document state, see if that works. Okay, well, at least I have a loaded cursor, so I have something here. All right, we're going to move the loaded graphics cursor into the upper left corner of this top artboard on the right, so up in here, and we're going to drag from the upper left to the lower right to make sure it covers this artboard. And there it is. And again, I'm not sure if this is right. Actually, it looks right. I think we got lucky. Okay. All right, so rather than flatten the file, we converted the Photoshop PSD layers that we can now see and work with and hide in Illustrator. So what we need to do is put this behind. So we're going to go into Object, Arrange, and then Send to the back. All right, let's go to the Layers panel. And in the upper right, we're gonna, The upper right is the layers panel. Okay, we have that. We're going to drag out, if we need to, this left edge so that we can read everything that we see here as far as what it is, the PSD and all that. We're going to reveal the image content in the layers panel by clicking on this locate object. And that's going to show us that the thing that we have selected on the artboard, it's going to show us where it lives, and it's going to twirl open the photo frame. So we can see that we have a frame, a darken, an image, and a background 0. What we want to do is we want to hide the picture frame sublayer, and we want to hide the beach, which didn't even come in, but there it is. It's interesting. We're going to hide that. But we are going to turn on the mountain one, which is called background in this instance. So all we did was hide this one layer and hide this layer. So because it was a PSD, we're able to do that, and we brought those all in. So that was pretty helpful. It shows how you can tweak the different layers. Let's click away to deselect that. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to place multiple images. So instead of doing a file place one by one by one, I told you we could load up our cursor with many and then click to place them one by one by one. All right, let's go to File Place and go back into the Images folder again. And we're going to grab 2 of them. So we're first going to choose the one called Hills. And then we're going to hold down Command or Control on a PC, and we're going to choose the thing called Icon, JPEG. So we have 2 of them. And then in our options down here, we are going to not worry about our import because it's not a PSD. We don't need to worry about how layers are handled. There are none. And the link option should not be selected. So when that's off, that means we're going to be embedding, and they're going to go with this file. So from here, we're going to click Place. And now our cursor is going to be loaded, and notice that it says 1 of 2, and it gives me a preview of what picture 1 looks like. Using your right and left arrow keys on the keyboard, you can rotate through these. So here's picture 2 of 2. Whichever one is active is the one that will be placed when you first click. So make sure that you see the icon image, which is actually like a bunch of clouds, looks like a sunset. And we're going to, instead of clicking once, which would place it at its original 100% size, we are actually going to click and drag it out so that we see it a certain size. And I'm trying to see where we do this. Adventures for All. Looks like we're doing it over in this image. I think we're just placing it off to the left anyway. So we're going to click and drag it out a certain size like that. And that's just going to place that first one at a smaller size. Now our cursor is loaded with the second one. So only 1 of 1 are left in here. So we're going to move this cursor to this last artboard that we haven't done anything with yet. And we're going to click and drag it from the upper left corner to the lower right to kind of fill this whole artboard. And again, it's putting it on top. And we just need to send it to the back. So Object, Arrange, Send to the back. And that looks pretty cool. We now have it behind, and we can see. I'm going to make that a little bit bigger. There we go. I just wanted to make it fit that whole artboard. So we place that behind. And from here we can do a File, Save As. Whoops, didn't mean to do a copy. Blah. This is page 420. All right. Next up, I'll stop this video, and in the next one we're going to learn about masking.